Hi guys, so it's me, Julia Fenton, the baby consultant. Today I thought I would chat a little bit to you about sleep cycles and baby sleep cycles and actually how those relate to awake times and how they relate to the fact that actually they're the main reason a lot of people struggle with sleep, with baby sleep and infant sleep. Um, with my first, I did genuinely kind of think, certainly when she was small, that she would just fall asleep when she was tired. I'd be like, she's a baby, they sleep. That's what they do. She's a small baby, that's how she should sleep. And actually, it wasn't until my sister said, actually they need a little bit of help. And I was like, oh, what do you mean? What is this? So I kind of, with my first two and possibly a little bit with my three, I knew that they had to sleep by themselves. I knew that they had to be able to self-settle in order for them to sleep properly. But it wasn't until my fourth and before my fourth where I started doing proper research and actually started studying and doing all of the looking into everything. And it was when then I suddenly realized actually how scientific all of this information is based. All in the research and articles, if you just put in infant sleep on PubMed, on the website, which is on the internet, which is it's called Publications for Medical Journals, and basically all well-known documented medical journals that you can find across the entire world are published in PubMed, and that's where all the doctors, all consultants, all everyone gets their medical information. If you put in just infant sleep, don't put anything else, it will come up and it will tell you about circadian rhythms, how those are developed between 3 to 4 months. You'll see millions of different research. But so basically, I always ramble, I apologize. But effectively, the whole point about sleep cycles is that during the day for babies, their sleep cycles are between 35 and 45 minutes, which means that after that, they kind of go up, and then they go down, and then they go up, and then they go down. In a newborn, once the baby's asleep, they're asleep until they're solidly waking up. And then that's why you can literally pick them up, move them around, carry them, pass them past person to person. They can pretty much sleep anywhere, and you go, yeah, this baby sleeps. And then the 4-month sleep regression, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard about, is actually, the problem that comes there is actually not to do really with the sleep regression. It's the fact that all the awake times, you're still putting your baby to sleep and assuming your baby will sleep like a newborn, when in fact they need a little bit more help. So what you have sleep cycles and you have awake times. That's how I like to refer to them. So awake times is basically the amount of time that a baby can be awake before it gets overtired. So they can stay up after that time, obviously, because they do. But they just get very overtired, and that's then what has an effect later on during the day and then into the night, and then you end up in a very vicious circle of a baby that is permanently overtired. So say for a newborn, we just work from a newborn and they can go up. A newborn should only have if you look on like Baby Center, if you look on anywhere that has, how much should a newborn sleep? It's between 16 and 20 hours. That effectively means that a baby can only spend awake an average of an hour to 2 hours before they get overtired. Mine have actually even never lasted, as newborns, they never lasted even an hour. They would get to about 45 minutes, 50 minutes, and then maximum an hour, and they'd start whinging again. The way that you can tell, and this is where it's really important to be able to tell the difference between hungry cues and tired cues, because actually what a lot of people do is that they feed their baby, and they hang out, they play with the baby, it's very cute, and then baby starts getting a bit irritable, starts getting a bit grouchy, keeps going grouchier, gets upset, starts getting completely inconsolable, and they're like, it's been an hour and a half since I last fed him, I'll feed him again. So then the baby falls asleep, and then they go, great, that was it. But actually the baby, didn't have a very good feed, because it's only fed for 5 minutes, 10 minutes before it's fallen asleep, and it's also learning to fall asleep by eating. And for a lot of people, that's a very nice way, and they enjoy doing that, and they like having that bond. But for others who need to be able to sleep, who need to be able to put their baby down, they're actually developing a feed-to-sleep association, which, once baby is 3 to 4 months, becomes a bit of an issue. But I'll come back to that in a minute. So what actually should be happening with that baby, who is now getting grouchy, is actually you just need to put them down to sleep. So if you've got their dummy, if you're using a dummy, I personally love dummies. They have been proven as a reduction in risk for SIDS. They are a great way for me to tell whether the baby's actually hungry or if they just need to suck, because you need to remember that babies suck, and it's soothing for them. That is a comfort. They suck because it's soothing. That's why they suck their fingers and everything else. If you give them a dummy, you can tell whether they actually want to suck, because they'll suck it, or if they're hungry, because then they'll go, what is that plastic rubbish? I don't want that. Give me the boob. all right? I don't need anything else. I just want that. So it's a nice way of telling. So actually, when you've got your newborn, you've just finished feeding them, they've been hanging around, and they start getting irritable, they start getting grouchy, and they were happy before, and they start just kind of whinging, fussing, squealing, and it might not be continuous, but those are the signs that baby is telling you that they're tired. If they yawn once, by the time they yawn the second time, they should be in bed. When they're newborn, maybe try and aim for like 1 nap a day in the cot, just so that they're getting used to it, but otherwise just the idea of just putting them down to sleep. And yes, it is very difficult because you have visitors, everyone who wants to come and visit, everyone wants to see the baby. It is very hard to pry a newborn out of the arms of your in-laws to go, baby needs to sleep right now, we're just gonna put baby down for a little bit. It is very difficult, and it makes you kind of just go, oh no, just leave them there. It's very hard. So effectively then, the baby should sleep maybe up to 3 hours. So we're saying 6 to 20 hours. And then actually babies should then be developing a 3 to 4 hourly feeding pattern. Because a baby that naturally sleeps well will feed between 3 to 4 hours. So 3.5 hours, 4 hourlies. Like, that's how much if they're sleeping, if they're awake for an hour, that means that they should be asleep for 3. Yeah? And then they wake up, they're hungry, you feed them again. You always kind of have to work with an acronym, which I found somewhere on the internet, I'm not sure who is accredited to, but it's called EASY. So eat, activity, sleep, you. So then it's your time whilst they're sleeping, effectively, is the point. So that's great, so that's trying to figure them out. When you get to about 4 months, 3-4 months, they actually start to wake up in between sleep cycles. So before, if you imagine that this is the arousal line, the rousing line, when they're newborns, they would be just doddering under the edge. So that's why they would continue to sleep for the 3 hours. As they get older and they start hitting 3 to 4 months, they actually start to rouse after every 35 to 45 minutes during the day and 2 hourly at night. If they're able to self-settle, if they know how to go to sleep by themselves, with their dummy, in their cot, in the dark room, with their softie, however you're doing it, they will put themselves back to sleep. So yes, actually, so a big misconception is when people say that, oh, my baby sleeps through, is like, actually, yes, your baby sleeps through, but they do still wake up. So I get occasionally a lot of people going, well, my 4-year-old still wakes up, and my 3-year-old wakes up, and I wake up and go to the toilet. It's like, yes, but you then also put yourself back to sleep. Your husband doesn't turn around and start patting your bottom trying to get you back to sleep. Okay, you don't get carried up and picked up and then rocked to go back to sleep. You put yourself back to sleep. So that's the same with newborns. They start to rouse during sleep cycles. If they know how to go back to sleep, they'll just go back to sleep, in which case you never hear of them. You never hear them. As far as I know, mine's sleeping through because I haven't heard them. They haven't made a noise. They've just sat there, kind of looked around, went, oh, I'll go back to sleep then. You've got one that's feeding to sleep association, or they've got a rock to feed association, or driving your pram or car to sleep association. They will then need that every time they wake. So that means that they will only have a 35 or a 45-minute nap during the day, or that they wake up 2 hourly at night, and that's how long the sleep cycles are at night time. So actually those babies aren't actually necessarily waking up because they're tired, they're waking up because they need help to go back to sleep. So it's trying to find the balance of just basically of them knowing what they need, so whether it's hunger or whether it's sleep, and trying to give them their needs, and by listening to them and watching them and looking for their cues, you should hopefully avoid any sleep regression. So actually, if you know that when your baby suddenly starts whinging and they've been happy and they've been looking and you've just gone, oh wait, what time is it? Oh, they've been awake for an hour and 10 minutes. You should put them down for a bed. Not, oh, it's an hour and 10 minutes, you're going to sleep. Because actually, their stimulus might be different from their last nap. They might suddenly have a lot of stimulus versus a little stimulus. And you need to be able to listen to them, watch them. When they start whinging, so they've been fed, so the first reason they cry is because they're hungry, and then the second reason they cry is because they're tired. So that's how you watch. You watch them, and then they start whinging, they're fussing, and then you look at your watch and you go, oh, okay, it's been about an hour and 20 minutes. As they get older, the time slowly increases, and then you just put them down for a nap. And yes, the amount of naps that kind of change and vary, and at some point they'll drop their nap. When they're about 8 months or 9 months, they'll drop 1 nap, and they'll go down to 2 instead of 3. Newborns will sleep kind of pretty much effectively all the time. But effectively, it's about watching them and listening, and knowing that if they're whinging, it's because they're tired and they want help to go to sleep. You cannot, if you want to go to sleep, if you as an adult want to go to sleep and you're sat up in the dining room and you're just absolutely exhausted and you want to go to sleep and there's people talking to you and there's shouting and there's noise and there's light, you're gonna struggle to go to sleep. And if you try to go to sleep in that environment, you will also struggle to stay asleep. You will wake up after 20 minutes going, what happened? What's going on? Sorry. Whilst if you went to sleep in your bed, in the darkness, at home, with your little soft, nice pillow, you would actually probably end up getting a good nap or a good sleep, or if it's nighttime, having a full night's sleep. So you need the correct environment. Okay? Being in someone's arms and being rocked and being picked up and things is just not conducive to a good night's sleep. And it's something you can start when they're newborns. I don't think, like, it's not, and there's not even sleep training. I haven't spoken about sleep training, because if you're just watching your baby and you say, you're with your newborn, you say, you need to go to sleep now, it's been an hour, you're whinging, put the baby down, that newborn will learn to go to sleep by themselves. And there's no crying, there's no extra whinging, there's no extra screaming, there's no crying out, there's no extinction, there's no disappearing child, it's nothing. There's no sleep training. Sleep training is your last resort. What you have to understand is the concept of the fact that they have awake times that are appropriate for their age, and then sleep cycles, and how those two work. If you do want any more help, and you feel that actually this is some of the behaviours that your baby is exhibiting, and you would like some more help and advice, then feel free to message me. You can find me on Facebook under Julia Fenton, the baby consultant. And I will try and help you. If it sounds like something I do, it's 100% satisfaction guaranteed, because you only pay once we've had a chat. And I just want people to enjoy having babies. It's not anything else. I just want people to sleep as well. If I don't sleep, I am a monster, basically. And despite having 4 children, I do sleep. I sleep a regular 8 hours a night. So if you do want some help, then just find me on Facebook, send me a message, and I'll book you in. Anyway, thanks very much, and see you soon.